Lene Harden and also Clarissa Fennell from Harden Jackson. Thanks for coming in. Again, kind of a delicate topic,
right.
But there have been some changes, and I'm sure a lot of people in Indiana probably don't even realize that those
right.
changes have happened, and it's fairly recent, right?
Right. The biggest change, effective July 1st of this year, child support now is paid to the child reaches the age of 19. It used to be 21. Indiana used to be one of 3 states that had child support going all the way to age 21. So this is a big change.
Okay. Is this, since we're one of 3 states, is this a trend? Will we see other states following suit? Was the reason for this someone just thought that was more fair, or what?
Well, so now there's only 2 states that left that have child support to age 21. So we were a little bit behind the curve, but I think this makes sense now that the age is till 19, and this still allows people, parents, to contribute, just not court mandated, but whatever they think is correct for themselves and their child.
And of course, that's just mandated. That's till 19. If you can make some sort of amicable arrangement beyond that, then so be it.
And it's important to know that parents can still be obligated to contribute towards the children's college expenses. So it hasn't terminated that. Okay. So it's really important that if you have a child that's about to turn 19 and they're going to college, you want to make sure that the parents are on the hook, so to speak, to pay college expenses, that you can talk to an attorney and make sure you get all those orders.
I mean,
in place.
I think it's interesting, if you stay married and you have a child, you're under no obligation to put them through college. However, if you get a divorce, there can be an obligation to put your child through college. Now, typically, they will limit it to an in-state public institution, and the child will be responsible for a portion, but that's an interesting twist.
Now, is any of these factors altered by the number of children, the income? I mean, there are those.
Yes.
Children are tangible, but there are some that are. Well, there are other tangibles involved.
Well, and that's an important question, because if you're paying for 3 children and only one of them turns 19, you can't just decide to cut your child support by 1/3. Indiana doesn't calculate support that way. You would still have to go to court or reach an agreement through the court to have your child support modified to account for the fact that one child has reached 19. So that's an important point. You can't just unilaterally make that decision. The bulk of the support you pay goes to supporting that first child. Your child support only goes up incrementally for each additional child.
Is there a direct correlation between the amount of I actually forgot the question I was going to ask. I was going to say the amount of child support and like, say, physical custody?
Oh, yeah. That's a great point.
I'm glad I was able to find it back there.
Well, we should help you. Number of overnights. That is a very important factor in how much child support is paid. So if you have custody of your child and the non-custodial parent has 98 overnights, which is the guideline, your child support will be much higher than if you have 183 overnights. Other factors that weigh in, obviously, income of the parties. Sure. Child care costs, help me out here.
Whether or not you're supporting other children, is it something that
health insurance costs too. So like she said, prior born children and subsequent born children with a different partner.
Okay. What about any geographic location considerations for this sort of thing? I think for people who are happily married, or at least relatively so, some of their experience with divorces and things like that they get from, say, hour-long dramas. So there's always some sort of tug and pull. Well, I know, but that's unfortunately that's a point of reference. But as far as one parent deciding to start a life elsewhere.
Well, that could have an impact on child support. I mean, there are situations, Indiana has a set of recommended guidelines. So you plug in the numbers and it says this is what your support should be. If you have a parent that, say, lives in Texas and is incurring additional costs for transportation, exercise, parenting time, the court could deviate and give an adjustment to make up for those costs.
Okay.
And one important factor, now we have a new statute, just a couple years old. You have to file a notice of intent to relocate if you want to move with your child, and that's even if you move across the street.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You can't just up and go. Well, you should have known where we're going. Yeah. Tip of the iceberg sort of stuff here. So go to Harden Jackson. We're going to have the link on our website, indystyle.tv. Thank you for tolerating my brain freeze on that question.
Thank you.